तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. I'm very happy to meet all of you, and I welcome all of you for our second session on reviving the leader. So I would like to start our today's session with a story. This is the story of a typical Indian politician. The politicians are very good in talking and convincing the people. So one day politician came just before the election, was trying to canvass the people, conducting the campaign, and he gives so much big promise. I will do this, I will do that, this, and so many things he spoke. And the people were really impressed. And then, because he did such a big promise, all the people voted for him and he got elected. Most amazing thing is that after he got elected to the post, he could not be seen anymore. For practically next 5 years, he was not visible in the entire state. All the people, they were very upset. Where is this minister? Where he has gone? He has promised so much. He is not visible. Why is like this? All the people were very upset. And somehow or other, 5 years passed. And now, the next election is about to start. Most amazingly, this fellow so bold, he again came, turned up for the next election, campaigning for the next election. He came to the same people, promising further new things. So the people saw this guy, they were very upset. They were practically trying to go and beat him. Are you promised so much, so many things. Where were you? You were not even present. You just blew all the way. And then this fellow again started giving a new lecture to inspire the people. He told that, you see, I want to serve all of you. I really want welfare of all the public. I want welfare of all of yours. But you see, I have to take care of myself. I'm just telling you the fact. I have to take care of myself. So the first 5 years, I amassed so much wealth so that my family is well taken care. So that this election, I can become the minister again and I can serve all of you. But remember this, if you don't select me this time, and if you select somebody else, he is going to repeat the same thing. He'll not do anything for the next 5 years. So better you choose me only. All the people got convinced and they chose him for the next election. And for the second time, he won the election. Again, he was not seen for the next 5 years. The people were really angry. And for the next election, when this fellow again turned up, they practically took stick and was going to beat him. But this time, no, don't beat me, please hear what I'm going to tell you. And he told, you see, last election I won, I amassed sufficient wealth for my family. But you see, after that next election, all my relatives started telling, Arey, you have made your family secure. What about us? So during this election time, I ensured there is sufficient wealth for all my relatives. So you see, I am completely secure. All my relatives are secure. Now you choose me this time. I am really, really going to do something for you. But if you don't choose, again for the next 10 years, somebody is going to cheat you again. Better select me itself. So we see that many people use this kind of trickery, cheating, a lot of technique to impress the people and get the job done. But in our today's session, what we are going to discuss is a very beautiful principle. Yes, what is that? Yes, we see that with all our skills, all these kind of cheating techniques and so many, we can get a lot of fan followers. We see many a time in India, the politicians comes and promise that once you elect me for the minister, I will open a lot of beverage shops. I will give you free liquor. I will give you all nonsense. They promise these kind of things. But the importance of true principles, we have to understand. We see many a time, the relationship between the people in this world is that of you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You help me in some way, I will help you back in some other way. So if we cheat others today or tomorrow, we are going to be cheated. See, we can attract so many people with a lot of cheating techniques, but we cannot cheat all the people all the time. We may be able to cheat some people for a long time, or we may be able to cheat so many people for a short time. But we cannot cheat all the people for all the time. You see, there are two kinds of success in this world. One is called as long-term success, and the other is called as short-term success. With all this kind of trickery and our skills and so many things, we can get a lot of short-term success. But if we want to retain those success, if we are behind long-term success, we have to understand the higher principles to be followed in our life. You see, especially in typical corporate structures, we find that the boss, they want a lot of work to be done from the subordinate. They practically want to exploit the subordinate. They want to give as much less salary as possible and want to get maximum productivity. Now, the employee also thinking exactly the same way. They know this boss is exploiting me. So they want to do the least work and get maximum output. They want more salary. If they don't get more salary, they cheat here and there, they loot things, they steal something, they do what all required so that they are safe. So we see a typical scenario in the modern world is that of people exploiting each other. The boss trying to exploit the employee and the employee trying to exploit the boss or the company facilities. So we see that most of the people in this world had undergone through various these kind of cheating experience. They have never has seen a true leader. A true leader who has followed these principles, people somehow or other did not get a real chance to experience these kind of leaders. And when a people who deal, when we see only these kind of narrow leaders, it's quite difficult for us to become a true leader also. Now, when we understand, when we come across such a true leader in our life, that is the beginning of us getting just a hint of the power of having true leadership. We have discussed about the various skills, cheating things people do in this world, but we have also seen true leaders, not only in the Puranas, but also in the recent history of this world. We have seen people ready to give their life for the mission of the leaders. We have seen the life of Gandhi. We have seen the life of Martin Luther King. We have seen the life of Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, and so many leaders for which the followers are ready to give their life, ready to do anything for the sake, for the success of the leaders. So it behooves an intelligent man to think people are not even ready to work being paid by the boss, but what are the qualities? What is that which is in a leader which practically inspire a followers to do so much for the leader? What is that which is there in the leader which practically makes the productivity of the people under him so great and makes the entire team a grand success? So I would like to take a small poll right now. Please, please answer this. Value-based relationship is long-lasting. Please answer. Agree or don't agree? Yeah, you are agreeing it. Okay. So almost 100% of you are agreeing to this. So let me have a second question. I request I'll give you 5 seconds. Please answer it very fast. Second, which of the following give pleasant experience to the leader and to the followers? Yeah. Some are telling value based, some are telling post based. Okay. Okay, very good. Yes. Now another question. Have you seen any world leader who could be happy throughout life cheating others? Yeah, it's very difficult. Throughout the life, they cannot cheat. Very good. And I would like to ask just one more question. Yes. Have you ever interacted or seen a true value-based leader who truly inspired your life? Oh, so most of you have seen, it seems. Very good. Most of you have seen. Yes. Now, last one more question. What do you think is the difficulty to become a true value-based leader? Please take, I'll give you 20 seconds. Don't be in hurry, burry. Read the entire thing and then answer. Take your time. Take your time. I'll give you 20 seconds. Yeah, very good. So some of you are telling that I think it is not practical in this world of cheaters. And many of you are telling that maybe I need more guidance and knowledge of how these deep principles truly lead to success in our life. Very good. Thank you. So in our today's session, we are going to discuss exactly that. How logically, scientifically, how these deep principles are really powerful even in this day and age of cheaters and cheated. Even though all the people in this world doesn't value this principle, doesn't follow the dharma, they all value crooked cheating principle, but still these higher principles are still extremely powerful if you want to be a great leader of this world. Yes, if you want to just do a small, tiny, puny thing, we don't have to study about these principles. But if you want to do a significant contribution to this world, if you want to make a significant contribution to the entire people of this world, yes, my dear friends, these principles are indeed necessary. And the kind of influence a person get who follow these principles, a person who doesn't follow these principles can never have. Now, what are the qualities which a true leader has, because of which you can create such a huge, immense influence across the world? Let's see what are those principles. Yes. See, in our class, we are going to discuss a few principles today. And this will be going to be a series of discussion. You see, in today's class, we are going to discuss about what are the principles a leader should follow so that it lead to more productivity of the people. What are the qualities a leader should have so that the people are inspired to do things? Yes, the most important quality a leader should have to be truly successful and to have big amount, a huge significant influence to this world, that quality is, yes, yes, this is called trust, trustworthy behavior. Now, you may have this very simple question, Prabhuji, what do you think? What are you telling? Those days where people have to be trusted, those days where we have to trust the people, they are gone. It is no more applicable nowadays. It's a day of age of getting the job done by hook or crook, get the job done. No. Let's see how important is applying and maintaining the trust of our character, how it is extremely powerful even in this day and age of 21st century. I'll give you a very typical few examples. Few years practically when I was doing my school days, maybe 10 years back, one of the world leading automobile industry company, Toyota. So they had made a particular car model, and somehow or other, one of the particular part of the car had a defective problem, because of which their customers, without their knowledge, they were getting affected. None of the customers, they are getting a lot of health issues, lot of problems, but the people doesn't know that it is because of the car they are using. They have a particular defective system in that, and the company somehow they found it out. Now there are two things that can be done. First thing, that you hide it, let the people die, let something happen to the customers, don't worry, let just let things go on, let's be very successful. Another thing, no, you tell the people what is the fact and take the responsibility of it, inform the people and replace the defective part, which is extremely a big financial burden for the company. They had to spend practically crores and crores of rupees, not crores, billions of dollars to get the small things corrected. You know what the company did? They did not hide the fact. They told the problem, this is the problem which we had. Now, any customers who purchase this particular model, you inform us, we will take the responsibility, replace that particular part for your well-being. And when the particular leader of this company proposed in their board meeting, most of the people were telling, what nonsense are you telling? Don't tell this to anyone, let the people die, let us be financially successful. Don't tell this to anyone. But the leader was so dumb, he told them, no, we cannot just do this. The trust of our company, the foundation of the company is the trust. And if somehow or other people lose the trust of our company, we may earn billions of profit, but it is not permanent. If the people lose trust in our company, that is going to be the end of our big empire. Let we lose billions of dollars, no problem. I want to maintain the trust of our customers in the company. And against the suggestions and opinions of most of the board members, he went ahead with it. And I will tell you, in fact, the company had a huge financial loss. But the most amazing thing is that the simple act of the company built up the trust of their customers in the company in such a way, there's such a strong faith in the company's profit practically just shoot up in the coming successful years, in the coming years. This proves a simple fact that it requires a lot of huge X-ray vision, a lot of skills, a lot of confidence, a lot of huge intelligence to understand that we get a lot of immediate tiny puny help, tiny puny monetary benefit, tiny puny lot of material help in just compromising the values. It's fact, by lying we can get a lot of money. It's fact, by cheating others we can get a lot of money. But it's even greater fact that keeping upholding our values, we can gain financial, we can gain material, we can gain much more than that. I'll tell you a second example. You see, in now this is a recent history. I will tell you from the scriptures. Vasudev, Vasudev, the son of Krishna. You see, when Krishna was, when the time the Vasudev got married to Devaki, Devaki was the sister of Kamsa. So when the marriage was just taken place, and after the marriage they were going, on the way, an Ashariri came, a sound from the clouds. They came and told to Kamsa that your sister, this Devaki, her eighth son is going to be the cause of your death. And when he heard it, he was very happy, very happy in the marriage of his sister. But the moment he came to know that her son is going to be the cause of my death, he took his sword and was to practically cut off the head of Devaki. But just because Vasudev promised Kamsa that, don't worry, I will take the responsibility of handing over to you all the sons of my wife Devaki. Don't worry. The most amazing thing, Kamsa was a demon. He was a Rakshasa. He never bothered about any of this principle. His means is that you do what is practical, what nonsense things has to be done. He doesn't follow any dharma. But amazingly, when Vasudev told Kamsa that I take the responsibility of handing over all the sons to you, Kamsa agreed to it. Now, I will ask you, I want to a rise of hand from your side. What is that quality in Vasudev that inspired a demoniac person like Kamsa to trust in his words? Or by knowing this, we can in our day-to-day life, we see most of the people around us doesn't follow these principles. But you see in this particular case, it is only because Kamsa put faith in the words of Vasudev. Vasudev could practically save the life of his wife Devaki. There is some particular quality in Vasudev. Even a demonic person like Kamsa trusted Vasudev. Because of the trust of Kamsa in Vasudev, he could save his wife. Now, what is the quality of Vasudev? Any of you know? What made Kamsa trust the words of Vasudev? Any of you?
Well, can I give a try? I might be wrong in this one.
Yeah, no problem. You can give it a try.
Maybe integrity.
Okay, very good. Can you explain how it is? Who is that? Not able, you please raise your hand. Who is speaking?
Rajiv, me.
Yeah, please.
So basically, he was someone who could be trusted.
Why made him trustworthy? Integrity, I agreed, but can you give some example? What made his character? What made him a person of so much integrity?
I can't give a pinpoint one example, but then I can give an extract as such. Like he was on his cause, irrespective of what came through.
Okay, very good. Yes, Abhishek. Yeah.
Man of word and honesty.
Yeah. Yes, both of you are right. Integrity means man of word and honesty, but somehow this particular sentence made more impact to me. Can you explain, Abhishek?
Yeah, Prabhu, but there's.
Okay, maybe difficult. I will explain. So see, Vasudev was such a person that anything he tells, he used to practice it. Anything he promised, he used to do it throughout the history. That means the character of Vasudev was such that it forced trust in others. And then when the most difficult situation came, Vasudev didn't have to sign an agreement letter. Just by the power of his words, he could convince Kamsa. I'll tell you another example. You see, Yudhishthir. During the battle of Kurukshetra, when the fight was going on between Pandavas and the Kauravas, and then when Drishtadyumna had to be killed, then see, whoever comes and tell to Drona that your son something, Drona doesn't believe in the words of anyone. But when Yudhishthir came and told Drona a particular word that your son is Ashwadhama, he just told that sentence. Drona practically put faith in his words. Why? Because he was a man of words. You see, nowadays in this day and age where people want to speak of putting faith in words, people don't even put faith in bond agreement, legal papers, because people are so cheated. But you see, these people like Vasudev, Yudhishthir has such a character, it could invoke trust even in demonic people like Vasudev. That means these characters are so powerful. It is so powerful that it can influence even demoniac people. You see, in fact, this trust, this faith, it is so powerful that if we sell off these things, if we are ready to sell our trustworthy character, we may be able to gain billions of dollars. The Toyota company could have earned billions of dollars had this didn't bother about the trust, just sell off the trust, lose the trust. They could have earned billions of dollars, but the company would not have sustained. Somebody could have collapsed with time. That means trust worth billions of dollars. There are so much company investing so much just to make the customers, just to increase the trust of the customers in their company. If the companies are investing so much, the companies headed by most intelligent people are investing so much to sustain the trust of the company. Why can't intelligent people invest in making their own character trustworthy? That means trust worth billions of dollars, my dear Prabhus. And if we lose little trust, we can get lot of money. But an intelligent man knows trust is more costliest than the little money we may get. So in our today's class, what we are going to discuss is what are the qualities a leader should have so that it inspires trust in the people around him. Let's see one by one. There are, practically speaking, three pillars of trust. The first one, as rightly our Rajiv Kaushik rightly told, that is integrity. Very good. And the second is called maturity. And the third is non-envy. When a person practices these principles of integrity, maturity, and non-envy, I will tell you, my dear friends, he will become like magnet. People will simply get attracted to people having these qualities. You see, what are the quality in any of the recent leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, or anyone you take? They followed these principles. Their followers had trust in them. They had maturity and they were non-envious. Yes, my dear friends, if you don't follow these principles, you can do simple things. But if you want to do big scale things, you can't simply do it with money. You need people to trust them. If the people doesn't trust you, you cannot do anything. That means if we really want to be successful, we have to build these qualities. So let's see all these qualities one by one. And we will analyze it from the scriptures. Yes, the first, integrity. Yes. Integrity is the foundation of our empire. Now let me take a small question. You see, when we see a big building, I asked this question last time also, but still I want to repeat it. You see, especially when it comes to civil engineering, when we have to build a 100-story building, a big building, we need proper foundation. So which is most important? I would like to take a poll. When you make a very big building, which is the most important part? Is the foundation most important part, or height of the building is most important part, or what is most important? So let me take a short poll. All of you please answer this poll. Yes. Please choose between the foundation and the tall building. Take your time. I'll give you 15 seconds. Take your time peacefully and do it. Strong foundation is more important than tall building. Tall building is more important than strong foundation. I will have strong foundation and a tall building on top. Yeah, all of you are super duper intelligent, it seems. Yes. Nobody is telling that tall building is more important than strong foundation. Majority is telling that I will have a strong foundation and on top of that, I will make a strong building too. So, my dear friends, these values, especially this value called integrity, is the foundation. I will tell you, by cheating people, by with your skills, you may be very good in talking and convincing people. You have particular skill of managerial skills. You may have technical skill. You may have convincing skill. But if we are not a person of integrity, all our empire is going to collapse with matter of time. So first, let's make the foundation proper. If you want to make a tall building, first make the foundation pakka. When the foundation is pakka, you can just make the building 1, 2, 3 floor, you can make the building. You see nowadays how the construction goes, it takes a lot of time to make the foundation. They have to make a piling, it takes a lot of time to make the foundation. Especially nowadays, construction engineering, civil engineering is so advanced that it practically take a huge piling deep. Especially right behind us, they have almost a very long building, almost 50-story building. It took many years to make a foundation. And I will tell you, once the foundation is ready, with months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors of building on that. Why? Because the foundation is strong. But there are also examples where people started building foundation, building floor after 1, 2, 3, 4. But after 1 year, with a small earthquake, building one side, and they lost all the money. So these values are the foundation. Yes, a person of less intelligence, he may think, why should I invest 1 year making the foundation? Let me just start making the building. Yes, he can get the entire building done in 1 year. But a person who has to make a proper foundation, it may take 2 years to make a good foundation. But who is truly successful, the time will prove. Let's see after 3 years, the person who did not make a strong foundation, his building will collapse after 1 or 2 years. But a person who made strong foundation, his building will never collapse. So these principles, values are the foundation. So let's first focus on having a proper foundation. And once we have proper foundation, once we have these values embedded in us, it's only a matter of time, my dear friends. We don't have to do the things. The people will come to make the building because the foundation is very strong. So this is the most important. So let's see more deep into this principle. Second, now how can we build this principle of integrity in our life? First, making and keeping commitments. When we promise something to somebody else, when we keep that particular promise, that builds the integrity of ours. Integrity means what we tell, we do that. That is called integrity. So a person of true integrity, he make commitments. He not only make commitments, he also follow the commitments. You see, especially most of the political leaders nowadays during the campaign, they speak big things. But do they follow it? They don't follow it. So what happens? They may come to election the 1 year, 2 year, but they cannot continue. They keep on failing. People will replace them. But a person who maintain their commitments, that commands the trust of the people, and they'll be ready to do anything for such a followers. Now you see from the life of Lord Ram, very interesting we can see this. That Lord Ram had made one commitment that he has taken Eka Patni Vrata, that I will have only one wife. Nowadays, people in this world, it is just like marriage. People don't bother about marriage. They think, why I should marry? Let's have living relationship. Because marriage means it's a legal thing. If there is a divorce after that, a lot of headaches. So why to take all these headaches? Let's live together. This is foolishness. This is foolishness. This is not my opinion. This is Shastric opinion. Any difference of opinion you have, you directly file a complaint to Supreme Lord. Don't ask me. But I will tell you in a simple principle this. You see, So people nowadays change relationship, change, they don't want all these things. But Lord Ram has taken Ekapatni Vrata. Now you see, when Ravan has kidnapped his wife Sita, is there any dearth of beautiful woman in Ayodhya? And Ram is so handsome, it is not difficult. He just need to post in the WhatsApp or Facebook. So many girls are in line to marry Lord Ram. But Ram did not choose that. He was ready to take the risk. He was ready to go and fight with Raman to just his Sita back because he had made that promise. Obviously, Sita had that kind of qualities which commanded, which demanded such kind of action from Lord Ram also. Also, Lord Ram has such a beautiful quality that made Sita so surrendered to Lord Ram also. So when we see, when a man has a particular quality, that when he is ready to give full shelter to the woman is ready to surrender to that man. But when the man also having time pass, he is changing girls here and there, the woman also doesn't bother about that. So similarly, when a girl or female, they have a particular quality, a man becomes subordinate to the woman because the chastity, because the particular quality a woman has. So it is the particular quality in a man and a particular quality in a woman that makes the bond united. You see, Lord Ram was a perfect man and Lord Mother Sita was a perfect woman. Obviously, they're the supreme Lord, but we can learn lesson. Obviously, our this topic of discussion today is not how to have a good relation between husband and wife. We are not going to discuss that. Anyway, what we are going to discuss, Lord Ram maintained his promise of Ekapatni Vrata. It was not easy. He had to pay a big price for it. But what happened? Lord Ram is being glorified even in this age, after so many thousands of years, because of the wonderful deeds he did. He kept his promise. Similarly, we see that Lord Ram had promised that anybody who come and take my shelter, I give full protection to them. I will take full others. And we can see that how he dealt with Hanuman, how he dealt with Vibhishan, and so many people like that. You see, whenever we live in this world, we are always indebted to some people. We are indebted to our parents, we are indebted to our seniors, we are indebted to our leaders or those who are superior to us, holding superior position, who are superior people than us. We are indebted. And when we take the responsibility of maintaining our commitments, maintaining our value towards them, we also get empowered. You see, Lord Ram is coming in a very royal dynasty. And the father of Lord Ram was Dasharath. He was also a person of true character, which commanded the respect of his son, the Lord Ram. Dasharath was such a person of character that invoked respect towards his father. Lord Ram has such a respect towards his father Dasharath. Why? We are not going to discuss that. Dasharath was such a person. Dasharath gave a promise to his wife Kaikeyi that you had done so much for me, you ask for any boon, I will give you. And when the Kaikeyi asked that, even though it was too painful for him, he kept his word. You see, many a times in this world, it may be difficult for us to keep our words. We may be able to gain a lot by simply neglecting our words. We can earn a lot of money. We can earn a lot of things by not keeping our words. It's a fact. But you can earn much more, not immediately. Wait for some time by keeping your words. By helping others to build trust by keeping this principle of integrity within us. Because Dasharath followed this particular principle, Lord Ram also felt I should maintain the respect and prestige of my parents and my entire dynasty. And he wanted to maintain the words of his father. And you see, Lord Ram was practically supposed to be coronated as the king tomorrow. Can you imagine this? Lord Ram was supposed to become the king of Ayodhya tomorrow morning. And today, and just few hours before that, he is coming to know that what to speak of becoming the king. He is going to be exiled to forest for 14 years. Can you imagine? Such a big shock. Such a big shock. It's impossible to take it up. Impossible. But Lord Ram could accept it. Why? Because he was bent on following the principles. I have to promise the word of my father. Obviously, he has to pay a big price for that. He has to stay in the practically forest for 14 years. But if you carefully study, Lord Ram gained much higher by following this particular value-based leadership than what he would have earned by simply neglecting it and remaining the king. The entire subjects of Ayodhya developed such a respect for Lord Ram that simply by his word people are ready to do anything. Why? Because they know this person is a person of character. I can trust him. And he is ready to do anything. He doesn't bother about his selfish enjoyment. He is based on values. Lord Ram went to forest for us, for maintaining his dynasty. He took so much sacrifice for oneself. So it developed such huge amount of trust in the people that practically helping made the Ram Rajya, which is discussed even today in administrative fields. And you see, it's not easy to make a team. Just because Lord Ram did this ideal behavior, Bharat, the respect for Bharat, Lakshman and all his brothers was such deep respect they had towards Lord Ram. And practically in the later part of his life, he did not have to fight with his brothers to get the throne of Ayodhya. People took him and practically made him sit on the throne. You see, nowadays people had to lie, people do all nonsense thing to just get a post, either minister post or any company post, whatever thing is that. See, when a person is getting such post by hook and crook, he may be able to get it, but he will not have the peace of mind. He will be always in tension. Who is going to come and take my post? See, I'm just sitting on a chair. Similarly, all the people in this world is worried. All my subordinate are doing a lot of meeting to get my chair. They are planning. They are having this thing. I don't know when I will lose my chair. Everybody is in tension. And because of what happens, people get headache. They can't sleep at night. In India, at least husbands, when they are at least they have confidence that when I go to my home, my wife is there. Or when I go to my company, my chair is there. But in the Western world, when people don't even follow this principle, they are not sure when I go to my home, my wife is there or not. Why may I go with somebody else? They go to my company, they are not sure whether my chair is there or not. They have they fired me out. Obviously, now the same situations come to India also. So that, in essence, what I want to tell is that, see, when we follow these principles, a person becomes so magnetic that he don't have to fight for the chair. People will put him in the chair. So a true leader doesn't fight for the chair. He doesn't fight for the post. He just keep himself fixed in following the values. And when he follow the values, the people will make him sit in the chair. And even if he doesn't want, people make him, you sit in the chair, you give us instruction, we are ready to follow. He is called a true leader. He is be happy and his followers and subjects will also be happy. And you see, these kind of leaders were not there in Puranas. We can see these kind of leaders even in recent history, like this people I told you. People were ready to give their life for Mahatma Gandhi. People were ready to give their life for Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, so many people. Why? Because they followed these values. And I would like to end our today's discussion with a real life incident from that of Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder of ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada, at the late age of 70, he traveled to America. Why? He did not went to America just for a picnic, have some nice entertainment picnic. No, that was not the reason. He was really, really worried. He was really anxious for the well-being of the people around. Because it's too difficult for a person of 70 years to go to Western world. He didn't have any money with him. He didn't have any contacts. He just went because of the instruction of his spiritual master. And when he went there, people don't know who is a sadhu. He don't know about all this in the Western people. So he practically cooked for his people. He washed the vessel for them. He served them. Because he loved the people like their children. He really cared for them. He was feeling pity for seeing these people. He was able to see how these people, because of lack of spiritual knowledge, they are suffering. They have a lot of money, they have a lot of wealth, but still they are empty at heart. They are suffering. Srila Prabhupada took care of them like their own father. When the people saw this old man is doing so much for us, and he is not expecting anything for us, he just wants us to be happy. One by one by one, the people started surrendering, not giving money. The people gave their life to Srila Prabhupada. The character of Srila Prabhupada induced in so much trust, love, that the people were ready to give their life for Srila Prabhupada. The only aim in their life was, we'll do anything just to bring a smile on the face of Srila Prabhupada. You imagine a person who is simply able to, Srila Prabhupada was not paying any money to his followers. He was not giving any money. What to speak of money? He is not even giving bare minimum facility of nice food, good accommodation. His followers didn't have proper accommodation, neither they were paid, they didn't have proper accommodation. There are so much difficulties, but still their productivity was super duper. They could do what was impossible even with a huge capital, what was impossible with a huge management consultancy, what was impossible with huge manpower. He could make it done through a simple few people because there was so much inspired. The greatest force in this world, the greatest power in this world is not through money. It is not through, yes, skill is important, but more important that having a proper quality that inspire people to do some things. And these qualities, my dear friends, we can never have through any material means. We should have a strong spiritual foundation, and we should be we should intellectually convinced how this principle, even though maybe a little difficult to apply, we should be able to have such a vision to understand how these principles are truly going to give us success. How we get it? By reading Ramayana, by reading Mahabharata. When we see how the people who is following these principles, how they are getting success, study. A person of short intelligence, he cannot understand it. And when we read scriptures, we understand how this principle works. A person who are not past class 10, when we tell them I can do wireless communication from here to America, he can't believe it. But a person who has done a little bit of class 10 and maybe a little bit of class 12, he can understand how it's possible through wireless communication. Similarly, when we have little bit of spiritual knowledge, that gives us the X-ray vision to go through the difficulties and understand how this principle works. And even in this world, even in the present days, the greatest transformation in this world is brought about by spiritual personalities. The greatest transformation in this world, whether it is science, whether it is technology, whether it is culture, whether it is politics, whether it is management, is brought by those principles who had strong faith in principles of Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana. And I will tell you, as I started, the greatest wealth is in these values. These values cost billions of dollars. And my dear friends, what the Britishers did is exactly the same thing. They just give us broken pieces of glass and just purchased our values and give some 100, 200 rupees, and we were happy with that. Why? Because we never knew that this value costed billions of dollars. But they knew these values were the foundation of this such a strong culture. These values were the foundation. And if you want to conquer this foundation, let's take those values. They gave us broken pieces of glasses and took away those foundations. So let's understand, be intelligent, understand how this principle works in our life. Apply these principles, read scriptures, you will understand. You will be able to break through the difficulties, understand even now this principle works. Now we just discussed little bit of integrity. There are a lot more to be discussed, which we'll discuss in the upcoming classes. I'll want to give you some time for question answer session. And before that, uh, yeah, yes. If you have any question answer, we can take that. Any questions you have, you can ask. You can unmute and ask. There is no question?
No, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hello, Prabhu. I want to share my quite views. I actually found this class. I'm Kunal, Prabhu. Yeah, Dinanath might.
Yeah.
Yes. Today's class. What I got to understand in today's class is a man with what defines a man as a with his leadership qualities is trustworthy behavior. And we got example of a Toyota company, which in spite of getting a heavy loss, they replaced their product. That's a real value which they gave. And that is what which connected till date people to Toyota to believe them. And we saw the example of Kansa, people like Kansa, the demon, who even believed Vasudev. Because of his he was a man of word. He had integrity. He was a mature kind of person. He actually had quality of leadership, and just because of that, he gave word that okay, when my son will be born, you can kill them all, and they will not kill you. So Kansa believed him. So what I got to understand that having a trustworthy behavior means a person must have integrity, maturity, and we must not be envious. Although we have not got lectures on maturity and envy, but what I can assume is it would be really great listening you in next lecture about the other two pillars of trustworthiness.
Okay. Thank you, Kunal Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kaushik, you want to make some announcements? And Kaushik ne Rajiv?
Yes. So Shri Madhav Das is again hosting. So me, Adit, and Kaushik, if you can see in the chat, we three have asked him to have a special session where he would talk more in deep about spirituality or Bhagavad Gita or Hinduism in essence, and why we should believe it, who are we, what is our purpose of life. So many topics will be covered in that special course. So if any one of you like Abhijit or Saloni would like to join that session, you can DM me and I'll give you the registration form. I'm there in the group of the leadership course, so you can text me on that.
Yeah, you can put that in the group. I
Okay.
I'll give you the access.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we will wind up here. If you have any questions, we can take it. Or you want to share something, you want to share your experience or something, anything if you want, you can do it. Any of you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I had a question related to something that you said in the session.
Yeah.
So you said that Rama followed this principle of having one wife throughout his life. Okay, but
You have to.
you also you also said that I mean, we all know that Rama and Sita were like the most perfect man and woman like that existed during that time.
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of situation is possible in today's world? Like, you know how people are not perfect and they all have their flaws and all that.
I cannot answer this because I choose another way of life.
Okay, sure. Sorry. Okay.
Maybe you can ask some grihastha. You can ask your parents.
Okay, sure,
I am
sure.
more happy being alone. So you can ask a person who are more experienced. But there is a fact. You see, why nowadays the relationship cannot stay together? There are a lot of reasons for it. As we will discuss about relationship coming maybe some time or other. You see,
Sure, Prabhu.
there are some principles which we follow in our life. See, the greatest source of happiness in this world is relationship. We get the greatest happiness through satisfying relationship. That means, see how much of happiness you get through money, through material achievements, or anything. You get much higher than when you have true relationship. True relationship. We should first understand what is true relationship. When we have true relationship, that is the greatest source of happiness. But when we don't know how to have proper relationship, that also causes the greatest pain. So nowadays people don't know how to have true relationship. That's why it has become little difficult for people to stay together. But see, it requires training from both sides. If you speak about man-woman relationship, it requires training from both sides. But in general about relationship, if you know how to have the proper relationship, then relationship is very good. But
Respect is the recipe, maybe.
sorry.
Respect also may be a recipe, major factor in a relationship.
Yes, all these things are there, but how to put it in practice, that is a difficult thing.
Yeah.
I have question, if I can
Yeah.
ask.
No,
So-
what I will do regarding Kaushik, regarding that, see, I don't have so much time to tell about it, but we'll discuss about in one of the topic it will come that leader invest in relationship. It will come in the coming session. So there we'll discuss how
Okay,
to
okay,
have
sure.
a relationship. And this is applicable whether it is in our professional life, it is even applicable in our family life also. Yes, Rajesh.
My question was related to today's session. So you talked about how trust, integrity should be the foundation of a person.
Yeah.
And so I give you a scenario. Let's assume in a workplace. Now,
Yeah.
we can't expect
Very
everyone
happy.
to.
Rajiv is very intelligent. He put practical questions. Go ahead. I'm very happy. You think practical.
So
Go ahead.
let's say you're in a workplace situation. I'm sure you also. I mean, I'm not surrounded by spiritual people, but we can be surrounded by various types of people, ethical, unethical people. So at the same time, do you not believe that unethical people should be dealt in the same manner that they treat us? So for example, Krishna did not say no to war. He was willing to go on a war
Yeah.
because he believed that that could bring peace. So do
Yeah.
you not believe that we in life must play unethical at times to
Yeah.
conclude things in peace?
Yeah. Very good question. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for this wonderful question. So most amazing thing is that yes, see, there are different ways of dealing with people. Just for example, I will tell you. See, there are just for example, when if we
Okay.
can talk to people nicely and get the things done, is it not better than beating him and getting the things done? Which is better?
If it's a nice person who is willing to do things for you, then I'm sure, yeah.
Yes. Now I'll tell you another thing. You see, you have seen bulls.
Bulls, yeah.
Yeah. So if you tell a bull, please go and graze the field, will the bull graze the field? No. The bull does
No.
good talk. You have to take a bamboo, take a stick and beat him on the back. Then he will do it.
Yes.
You understand? So similarly, see, different people have to be dealt in different way. Just for example, a father may beat his child, he may shout at his child. It doesn't mean that he's doing unethical. He is doing same thing out of love. Got the point?
But then, do you
Now
not think?
let me
Okay.
So now when Lord Krishna is killing people, there is no difference between, it is not that he's doing unethical, he's doing ethical. See, when a doctor in his operation room, when he's doing cutting the heart and liver of the patient, he's not doing violence, he's doing service to him. Similarly, when a person he cannot understand the things, so we may have to beat him, we may have to sometimes even kill some people to rectify the situation. So this is not unethical, this is ethical. So when Krishna, when he's killing the people, it is just like it is for their welfare. Don't think that Krishna killing is same as normal somebody in this world is killing their enemy. It is not like that. We kill people out of envy, out of insecurity. But Krishna is our father. He is our loving. He loves us. So whatever he gives, whether it is a kiss, whether it is a pat on the back, or whether it is like killing, everything is for good. I'll give you the proof of it. Every person who is killed by Krishna, whether it is Kurukshetra, anywhere, you know what is their destination? They went to either to the spiritual, they got superior destination. Just for example, you see, sometimes you may see, you have a younger son or daughter.
I'm a student. I don't.
Sorry, daughter, nahi, sister or brother?
No, I don't have any younger sibling.
Sometimes you see, suppose we have a small brother, it's very small, maybe 5 or 6. He may have a torn clothes, dirty clothes. Sometimes the mother want to take off the dirty clothes with stool and urine and want to put a new dress. The child, no, don't remove my shirt. But the mother removes it and put a fresh clothes. Yes?
Yes.
Similarly, even Krishna practically destroy our body. He's removing from our burst body and giving us a new, fresh, first-class body. That's what Krishna is doing. From Krishna's perspective, it may be difficult for us to understand. Just like for a child, it is difficult for him to understand why the mother is changing my dress filled with urine and stool and why she's removing it. It may be difficult for a child. Similarly, from our point of view, it may be difficult for us to understand. But Krishna, whatever he does, it is for our well-being. But it does not mean that I can imitate Krishna and I can go and kill somebody. No, we can't do it. We can do it only under the instruction of Krishna or representative of Krishna. We cannot take law in our hand.
So I'll counter you on one specific example you gave. You gave an example of how parents are allowed to beat their children or in the name that they want to do good for it. But do you not think when, like, let's assume the kid is at the age of 9, 10, 20, he's a minor, not an adult. But do you not think that is wrong behavior though? I mean, it's illegal too.
Legal to what? Legal to remove the dirty cloth of the child?
No. You gave an example about parents beating child.
Yeah.
To get him to do something, let's say study something or to behave certain way.
Yeah. Is it legal or illegal? You're asking. Is it good or bad? You're asking.
No, you gave it in the example when you mentioned.
Yeah. Yes.
About doing unethical things.
Yeah.
So that's why I countered you on that.
So what is the question? I did not get it. Can you repeat?
So you, while you were saying about unethical things, you said people don't do. These are not unethical things. In that you gave a small example saying of parents beating their child to getting to do something.
Yeah.
So, but then is that not wrong?
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. So before that, I just want to announce our session is over. If somebody of you want to leave the session, our session is up to 8:30. Some of you want to leave, you can leave. Or if you want to stay back to attend the question answer, you can stay back. So I just want to officially wind up the session. Those who want to leave, they can leave. Thank you so much for coming and attending this session. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So coming to your question, Rajiv. Yeah. So I just want to understand your question properly. Are you asking that is it right for parents to beat their child out of love? Even if it is out of love. Is that the question?
I mean, though we can't basically judge an action by its intention.
Yeah.
But then it's a wrong action either way.
Okay. So am I right? Are you asking is it right parents beating the child? Is that your question? Because I'm not going to get the question right before I answer it.
Yeah, I'm asking you whether it's right. If they want to do with an intention that they want him to study something or force him to do something.
You see, you have to see the perfection of an action through its reaction. For example, I will tell you. Sometimes you see that sometimes parents beat their child or scold their child, but the child feels good about it. I'm telling you two cases. One case, the parents beating their child or scolding their child, and after some time the child feels good about it. But some other time when the parents beat their child or scold their child doesn't feel good. I'll tell you another example. This may be difficult for you to understand. You see, sometime, suppose when you have a friend whom you really trust, wow, sometimes he may come and give you a feedback. You may feel good. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. You gave me this feedback. But he may be giving a feedback which is painful for you. But when you understand, when you trust in him, when you have faith in him, when he tells you, you're able to take it and you're able to tell him thanks. But somebody else who is not your friend or he may be your enemy, he may come and tell you very beautiful words. Rajiv, you're so handsome, you're this, that, and that else. But you may not like it. what I want to tell is that, see, when a person really loves and care for us, we'll be that action has different impact. You see, when a father really loves his child,
Yes.
and he has knowledge also what to do, not simply love. He also have love, and he also have knowledge how to deal with the child. And
True.
when a perfect father even beat the child or scold the child will feel happy. But the father want to dominate the child. He may have love, but he may not have the knowledge. For example, sometimes the parents scold the child, why are you do want to do this? But they may not be matured. I'm telling practical. Sometimes if the parents are immature, they may be liking the child or loving the child, but they don't have knowledge how to deal with the child. Then
Yeah.
also problems. Just for sometimes the children, this generally doesn't happen when they are minor. This happens when they are teens, because they have specific life and they want to do this or that, and the parents may tell, no, you have to do this only, like that. They may force sometimes the child, so that may not be right. In essence, what I want to tell is that, see, when something is done with proper intention and with proper knowledge, then that automatically invokes right emotion in others.
Okay.
Got the point?
Yes.
You see, I'll tell you most of, but don't you? I'll tell you a story. You will like it. Okay. So there was a mother really loved the child. I will long story. I'll just cut it short because of lack of time.
Okay.
So what happened? The child mother was cooking in the kitchen, and the child was right outside the kitchen playing. And there the mother has kept naphthalene. You know naphthalene balls for keeping the clothes
Yes.
fresh. Yeah.
Yes.
The
Yes.
child saw the naphthalene ball, and the child thought it is rasagula, a sweet. It was a white. He thought it is rasagula. The child was about to take it and eat it. And mother somehow saw it. Mother came from the kitchen and told the child, no, this is not rasagula. This is naphthalene balls. It's not good for you. And she don't eat it. She told, okay, ma, I will not eat it. But she went to the kitchen again to cook, and the child again started to take and eat it. This time mother saw, she came and with a stick she came. You eat it, I will beat you. And she took it and she came top of the fridge so that he cannot take it. But she again went to cook. And the child somehow took something here and there, climbed on the fridge and was to practically take it and just put in his mouth. You see, naphthalene balls small children take, they may even die. It's very dangerous.
True.
Mother just saw it. She just flew from the kitchen, just give a tight slap, tack. And the child practically just flew, took a parabolic motion, just fell down flat on the ground. Started crying. And who is seeing this? Right at that moment, the father is opening the door, and what is seeing? The mother slapping the child. Small
Yes.
child. What the father thought, what is this? The mother is beating the child? What is this? Is she a loving mother? She's a demon. She's a Rakshasi. You tell
Yes.
me, do the mother love the child, or she doesn't love the child?
She loves the child.
What she should have done? She should have neglected, or she should have kept in the kitchen, or she should have saved him by beating him. What she should have done?
Saved him.
Yeah, that means, you see, different thing have different things has to be done at different thing. So you see, at that time she should have done it. The child will not learn a lesson, and he may again do it, which is maybe dangerous for the child. So sometimes, see, especially when the children are very small, we have to beat the children. Not out of
Okay.
why it is important. See, I will tell you a practical scenario. When if the parents simply pamper the child, give whatever they want, I'll give you toys, I'll give you smartphone, everything. The child think that I am the controller, I can get whatever I want. And later when he grow up, when he become a teenage, he want a particular girlfriend. Can you just go
Yes.
and have the girlfriend you want in your life?
No.
No, it has to be supported from the other side also, yes.
Yes.
And then when the girl doesn't agree, what do you think? She's not listening to me. She will take a gun and shot at her. And this is happening in the Western world.
True.
Doesn't listen to us. Just go and take a. Why is this happening? Because they think that I can get anything I want. This is a wrong thing. It is not like that. We cannot get anything we want. We cannot. Everything is not in our control.
Yes. You're right.
You see, why people cannot stay together in family life? Because they think when they are boyfriend, girlfriend, when they love, they think life is so nice, romance is so nice. But when they start staying together, they understand everybody is so difficult. They think the girl
Yes.
is so beautiful, but when she shout, my God, I never imagined this part of your life. I thought you were very sweet. Now take it. And the girl thought that this boy is always very, will give me always gift and all this. And when she understand he cannot give everything I want, he has limited salary, he has so many things to do, and she cannot understand. She that I don't want you, I will go. So relationship problems comes when people are not realistic. People think everything is in my control. So the fact of world is that we are not the controller. Supreme Lord is the controller. This is a fact.
Okay.
So this to train these people, that is why when the children are very small, we should not satisfy all their desire. We should not give everything what they want. And when they do wrong thing, we have to beat them. See, beat is not to give them pain or to give punishment, to teach them a particular lesson.
Yes, you're right.
You understand? Now, see, I'll tell you, see, most important ingredient to do all these things is that we should love the child.
Yes.
When the parents doesn't love the child, when the parents beat the child, the children cannot take it. You see, in India, I'll tell you a real life story. I'll tell you a real life story. See, there was one family in America. I know this particular real life story it is. So what happened in America, there's a rule that the children, even small children, when they think the parents are doing all this, they can call to the cop. Cop will come and arrest the parents. You know, there's a law in America, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
What happened? So this particular family was in America. The child was doing some nonsense like this, and the parents bet him. When they bet him,
Yes.
the child was about to call the police. Somehow or other, he just took a flight and landed in India.
Yeah.
So the father was not able to beat him in London because he was scared that police will catch him. So the moment he landed in Delhi airport, you know what he did?
What?
He took the child, tack, and
Oh
told,
my God.
Indian police, let's see what they will do. See, why I'm telling this now? You see, why this particular law came in America? You know that?
I'm not aware.
Yeah, this happened because the parents doesn't care for their children.
Oh, in
When the
America.
parents doesn't care for their children, they protest.
All right.
You see, in India, children are ready to obey their parents. Why? Because the parents sacrifice their life for the child.
True.
I personally seen in my life, my mother, she doesn't bother how much she eats. She want to feed me. Even she doesn't eat, she want to feed me. He spends sleepless night to ensure I'm studying. My father working hard just to give me happiness. See, when we see parents loving us so much, don't we mind when they beat them? Do we mind it?
No.
Because we know from the core of our heart they love us. But when we see the mother going for party with her boyfriend, not cooking for the child, giving money to the child and you go and eat in restaurant. The father not having time to talk with the child, always he is busy with his job. Don't you think the child will not protest?
He will.
Yes. You see typical Indians, I will take another example. See, in traditional, when I was a student, I'm telling my days, when I was studying class, teacher used to beat us. We never felt bad. Why? Because deep in the heart, we have complete confidence the teacher loves us. We had that confidence.
Yes.
But now the teachers don't beat the child. Why? Because the students know that the teacher is teaching me for money. He doesn't bother about my welfare. He is doing as his job. He is getting money. I am paying money. If I'm paying money to the teacher, how can you beat me?
True.
So when the people are not see that's why Prabhupada is the greatest problem in this world is lack of love and care. When somebody is loving and caring for us, we will be ready to become their slave.
True.
To extend this point, when I'll tell you another example in family life, when the husband really love the wife, in any relationship, in a friendship also it matters. When we value our friends, when we value it, then the friends don't bother. We give feedback, we joke at him, hit him, don't mind. But we don't value the friendship. People don't take it seriously. So,
Yes.
most important thing, see, this I told you in the previous class also. Before we give feedback, first we ask question: Do I really care for him? Am I going to give this out of my love and compassion for him, or am I envious of him? I want to show off my knowledge. What is the reason? If our intention and is right first, and we have the knowledge, then whatever we do, that will be good. I will tell you example. Srila Prabhupada, I could give this example. See, Prabhupada is a new person as far as Western world is concerned. What made the Western people surrender their life to Prabhupada? You tell me. Did he give him money?
No, they did not give him money.
Is he a very heroic personality?
No, he was not a heroic personality.
He's an old man. He's a 70-year-old old man. So what is there in him which make people, young people, surrender their life to him? You tell me, what made them? Prabhupada did not feed them. Prabhupada did not give them proper prasadam, no accommodation. He made them. He did not even pay any remuneration to them, but still they're happy. What? What made him work like this?
Values.
Because they had trust that this person is my well-wisher. They had that trust. Now, how they got that trust? Because first, he did not have any bad intention. He was not loving these people to get money or he did not want anything from these followers. He wanted their well-being.
True.
This is a low quality of a true leader. So, see, and
Okay.
these are not easy. Is it easy?
No, that's not easy.
See, if you want relationship, we require to sacrifice. Suppose we want friendship, we may have so many priorities. If we want friendship, we have to sacrifice some things to make friendship priority. Yes.
True.
Similarly, if we want to value our wife, we want to value our friends, we want to value our parents, we have to sacrifice many things.
Yes, you're right.
But I will end with one more thing. We are limited. We cannot make our friends happy, wife happy, boss happy, society happy. We cannot make everything happy. If you try to make everyone happy, we will die.
You're right.
That also is right. So what to do? You tell me. See, I'll tell you practical example. In family life, we want to make the wife happy, we spend time with wife. So friend is unhappy. You want to spend time with friend, wife is unhappy. You want to spend time with friend and wife, boss is unhappy. You want to make the boss happy, wife and friend is unhappy. So what will I do? You tell me.
We can become a monk like you.
Yeah. So simply by becoming a monk, you can become happy?
Well, you seem happy.
No. So that's why, what make a monk happy? You tell me that.
Knowing limitations, knowing things everything cannot be done.
Yeah. So a person become a saintly person. No, by shaving his hair, by putting a tilak. No. A person becomes saintly person by the quality he possesses.
Right.
So whether he is a monk like me or there are so many married people also devotees. You can ask our Adit, I don't know, I think his parents are devotees. See, there are so many people like that. So see, I am a monk by external, but even I will tell you, so many business people, top first class businessmen who have divided.
Yep.
See, successful people, Prabhu, whether they are heroes, whether they are a businessman, whatever they have a particular quality. You understand?
Yes.
So it is these divine qualities that make a person successful. And the external success we see in terms of name, fame, glory, money, wealth, opulence, big bangla, these are all byproduct of that.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yes.
See, when people saw Prabhupada having this wonderful quality, they gave their money for Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I'm giving you 1 lakh donation. You do your welfare. Why people are giving it? Because they saw that quality in Prabhupada. Some people gave money. Some people gave their life for Prabhupada. Why?
Because they saw his quality.
And this is, and the extent of this quality we can see in the devotees of the Lord. But even a person, he is not a devotee, may have some little bit of these qualities. He also become very powerful in this world. But
yes,
not a devotee of Krishna, he cannot be really happy.
True.
But if a person is devotee of Lord, all these qualities are byproduct.
Yes, you're right.
Got the point? So all these things we may understand in an intellectual way now, but later when we practice, we get more realization. You read Ramayana. See, these books, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they are not simple stories, they are real life stories. And read these books just like we read case studies in MBA book, MBA schools. You see, when we do management, 90% of MBA syllabus is various case studies. How this businessman became successful, how he became a leader. There are a lot of case studies they do.
True.
This is what MBA students does. And all these books, Puranas, they are also various case studies from different part of the universe. They are not simple story. They real life. You study and think what made this person like you see what made these people like Yudhishthir. These people have influence in the entire world.
Correct.
We can't even control our ourselves. We can't control our friends. We can control our father, mother, our brothers. This is too difficult to control our 4 or 5 member family. It's difficult to having a headache. We cannot. And these people are, and you see, people are finding difficult to run a company. It's a headache to run a big MNC. It's difficult to run an entire state. And these people are peacefully running the entire world. Why? They have particular quality. They are
That's true.
happy. They are happy, and the people whom they are ruling, they are also happy. That is what is called Ramaraj.
Okay.
And the aim of Srila Prabhupada, why he traveled across the world to spread all this, his aim was to give this training to the young, intelligent people so that they can become world leaders by making themselves happy and make others also happy. This is the purpose why Srila Prabhupada traveled across the world to share this knowledge.
True.
Okay, so we'll
Okay.
discuss more in our upcoming class. I want to request all of you take this not just as some theoretical spiritual knowledge or this principle we will discuss. This is not simply for entertainment or some nice to hear things. Ask questions. I don't mind all of you challenging in a spirit to learn the things. I'm not speaking just to make you happy, to feel good or things like that. You have to really think how these principles if I apply I can get success. What are the difficulty? You feel free ask. Why?
Okay.
See, I have seen truly that when we follow these principles, we can be tremendously successful. And I have seen people successful.
Sure.
That's nice.
But it requires a lot of guidance. It requires huge amount of intelligence. Normal people can't understand. They think that, I'll tell you, I'll give some example. Now, people think, let me run a business. I can get 10 rupees profit per plate. But you can earn lakhs by doing selfless service.
True.
That's true.
That is a fact. And most of our non-government, they do social service. There's so many social service people. They earn more money than these business people. Why?
Oh.
Why? It is they are not earning money for their selfish enjoyment. They are doing social service. So see, when we are selfless, when we sacrifice, we get all the things which is required. This is a principle. This is how the God has created this. And when we know these principles, we are getting that knowledge. And when we have knowledge, we get control of the things.
Okay.
Like that. All these principles are mentioned in various scriptures, and the highest of all the principles that we'll discuss in the other class. This is not the highest discussion. This is lower discussion.
Going step by step.
All right.
Okay.
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 Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
In our upcoming
Thank
session.
you so much.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
sure.
Thank you so much.
So much. Hare Krishna.
Jai
So,
Shri Krishna.
Paramender, how are you? Paramender, are you there? Okay.
Yes. Reply.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.